We'll finish. I'll say the thing at the end. Stay fresh, cheese bags, and then we move. We all pause for a second. We freeze and go on from there. All right.
Cool.
So I am just having a night. It would seem. Where is everything?
What's your current temperature, Lee?
It's like
Celsius.
-10. Oh, I don't know what the Celsius would be.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Whatever it is, it's minus
cold.
something.
It's cold. It's cold. It's cold.
Yep.
It's indoor diecast weather.
Yeah, that's why I actually started collecting diecast because of the winter.
Hey.
Funny enough.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. Just count us in, and we will get this show rolling. In 3, 2. Oh, hold on. Before I do this,
Lee Ivy.
thank you. All right, the Ivy of my diecast life.
This is my diecast.
This is my diecast life. See, this is why we practice these things. And I know this. I follow you. I should know the full name. There.
You should know everybody that you follow.
Right. I should know everything.
Comment
about
on every
everybody.
post.
Yes.
Yes, my day job does not like when I do that, though. So, all right, in 3, 2.
You're watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to Diecast Breakdown. We're so glad you're with us today. We are starting the new year off with some real bangers. We just had Michael Geralda on, and now we're talking to one of the coolest people in the world of social media and diecasting, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to the folks that make our show go, especially our executive producer level patrons. That would be First and 64th Customs, Dane Self, DrivenDreams.org, Jason, Mad Visions, Mike Sponson Customs, Reviews Through Another Lens, TWYCE Diecast, Video Geek Productions, and our 2 newest patrons. That would be Mr. Big Lou. Thank you, sir, for joining us as an executive producer level patron, and our newest patron joining us at the $3 production level, Mr. David Adams. Thank you, David, for joining the game. We got a new one, guys. It's been a little while since we got a new one, so we appreciate y'all being here. And if you want to know more about joining their ranks, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com, where we have links to our social media, our merch, as you can see on 2 out of 3 hosts, and 2 out of 3 hosts can't be wrong. And speaking of my co-hosts, I am joined, as I frequently am, by Mr. David Johns. How you doing, David?
Doing good, Chuck.
And Mr. Mark McDriven Dreams Berenson. Are we doing it? Are we coming out with a full name?
Yeah,
we're doing it.
Why not? Yeah.
Doing it big in 25.
Mark Berenson.
Out.
That's his last name, people. You can track him down now. You can find him. So
or can you?
I don't know. Keep your head on a swivel, Mark. They're out for you now.
So dark web.
All right. Well, we are gonna stop plotting Mark's death, and we are gonna get straight to the interview. But I'm thrilled that we are joined, starting the year off right, with Mr. Lee Ivy of This Is My Diecast Life. You may have heard of him. He's got a channel that's got like 240,000 more followers than we do. So I'm still not sure why he agreed to hang out with us, but we appreciate it. So Lee, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
No, I love talking diecast, so I'll hang out with anybody that wants to talk diecast with me. So that's not a big deal.
Amen.
Yeah, I saw you do your own little podcast. No, I say little. That was so condescending. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
You've got your own podcast where you talk with your friends about tiny cars as well. So
yeah. Because of my following, I'm able to get like some bigger players in our community on there too. So that's nice.
Yeah, well, and I think it's been really cool for us as 3 guys that were just like, hey, why don't we make a podcast about things? Like, people have been very kind, yourself included, for coming to hang out with us when we're just kind of, just 3 fellow enthusiasts. And we got tired of talking about cars by ourselves and decided to do it with other people. And we've gotten a lot of really positive feedback from it. And we're really
this is awesome. I love this kind of stuff. So,
well, thank you.
You guys are doing a good job.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate you guys doing that for our community.
Well, you're very welcome. I mean, we're We're like you. We love talking tiny cars. So speaking of, you've got quite the vast collection. So let's go back a little bit. What's the genesis of this collection? Like, where did it go? Because we all grow up playing with tiny cars. But when did it go from these are toys I really like to this is something that really is a part of me? This is important to me.
I was always a car guy. I only started collecting Diecast about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Right at the end of 2019. It was one winter, and I was drag racing back then.
Mm-hmm.
Spending a lot of money every summer drag racing, and then one winter, obviously we got winter here, so you can't drag race in the winter. And I was at Walmart and I seen these Hot Wheels, and I'm like, wow, they actually make real cars. I always thought they just made like fantasy cars, right? So I bought a case. I bought enough Hot Wheels to fill the case, and that's basically how it started. I actually grew up one of 8 kids to an immigrant family. Wow. So we didn't have no toys, like not even for Christmas. Like I had to like literally lie when I went to school to the other kids what I got for Christmas, because just you didn't want to feel left out or embarrassed or something like that, so.
Yeah.
But now look at me now. Look at me now.
Hey. I got all the cars.
Look at me now.
How many diecast do you have?
How many do I actually have?
What's the number that you think is like,
well, I have at least like 4,000 loose, that's for sure. And then probably I'm pretty sure I used to have 10,000 before I moved, but now I have probably like 6,000. I'd probably say about 6,000 cars. And I don't add as much anymore. Like before, I was buying collections and doing all that crazy stuff when you're new. Right now, I'm more picky because I have quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, it creeps up on you fast.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thing. It was actually like 2018, 2019, and I was in Walmart and I saw these Auto World cars that I had never heard of, and that they were true 1/64 scale. And one of the things that broke me from Hot Wheels and Matchbox as a kid, as a growing like preteen and teen, was one day I woke up and realized they're not all the same scale. This semi truck and this Mini Cooper are definitely not the same size as they would be proportionate to each other. And the more I noticed that, the more it bothered me. And, it was like, I don't know. When I was a kid, I liked playing with dinosaurs, and I had my toy dinosaurs, and I had the big dinosaurs were always over here. And then my mom would be like, well, they're the baby dinosaurs. I'm like, nope. This is the scale. This is the right thing. So I was a scale snob even then. But
so are you still like that now?
I always joke that scale is about mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I am Lee, 100%.
You are?
I am.
So do you collect Hot Wheels then?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that's just me. That's not.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
David's our resident snob, but that's okay. David has really elevated my game because I came from the mean streets of Mattel with the color changers being the height of diecast technology. That's where I got my start doing customs and stuff, was around that time. I started seeing like Bare Metal HW's videos about customizing cars, and I was like, wait, people do that? And then I saw Jakarta and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, they do it. They don't do it like him, level. But yeah, they do.
So that's kind of how I found my way back into it as well. I was a car guy. I've always been a car guy too. I have a 64 Valiant I've had since I was 15, and I had just finished rebuilding that because I always promised myself I would. And that was a harrowing 6-year experience, and I was just like, all right, I'm done with big cars. I need to do something else. And I saw these Auto Worlds on the shelf, and it was a Buick Estate station wagon, which was the same station wagon my grandfather had, and in the same color. And I was like, oh, I got to get that. And it just kind of all went downhill from there. But yeah, and I loved that people were doing true 1/64 scale. I still collect Hot Wheels. I still collect Matchbox, but within reason, I try to keep them like look and see proportionally this is close enough to 1/64 scale for me to be happy. But even then, I still I like doing like Gaslands cars and stuff like that, where the scale isn't as important. It's more about just creating a statement piece. that kind of thing. I don't.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about Cattle House then? Because Cattle House is way off scale.
We'll be back with more Diecast Breakdown after this word from our sponsors. Legendary Hollywood concept artist and designer Fireball Tim Lawrence has created 3 exclusive pieces of automotive art based on the 3 hosts of Diecast Breakdown. Get these and other brilliant designs printed on mugs and more at fireballtimgarage.art today.
Cast Heads Magazine is a digital publication dedicated to enhancing the lives of collectors all across the world by providing information on new models, reviews on brands and diecast accessories like figures and dioramas, throwing light on customizers, photographers and people who contribute to making the diecast world vibrant. Subscribe to Cast Heads for free and look for collaborations with Diecast Media Network at castheadsmagazine.com.
And now back to Diecast Breakdown.
They're kind of like the same recipe as Hot Wheels, where it's just kind of like they're trying to make it look fun, instead of looking realistic, right?
Yeah, I like it. I collect them. I haven't bought a new one for a while, but I have all the 510s up until probably this last year. But like when I first got it, it was totally not a to scale thing, but it was. To me, it's artwork,
It's unique.
Yeah, it's unique. It's, we're
different.
We're a big fan. Like, he's probably one of my favorite designers, mine. We'd love to get him on the show, too. He's hard to get a hold of. But he's definitely one of my favorite designers because of, I've got 2 friends in real, full-size ones. And
nice.
And I've got a 69 and a 71 wagon. And then, of course, just Skylines and stuff. I'd like to get a Hako, like the older ones, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just he's got some cool stuff, and it's just it's unique. And his Hot Wheel career was really cool too. I mean, he started the 510s. I mean, that's what all those zeros that you guys see are from him, and so he brought a lot to the JDM. I mean, I think people got really excited about the 510s. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have a lot of other cars, but to this day, I appreciate that people love the 510 so much because when I'm driving my real 510. People were like, "Oh, I have that car,"
I've never seen a real 510 in my life, to be honest with you.
So they're pretty rare, especially up in Canada
because they rust.
Yeah.
No, 100. So like when people are up here are all crazy about 510s, I don't really see like the relation besides like the hype of Hot Wheels hyping it up, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me because I am a car guy. I relate to the things I like to the real cars that I've experienced in real life or I've owned in real life, just like you in a 510, right?
Yeah.
But normal people up here, I'm a car guy. I've never seen a real 510 in my life. So
yeah. I haven't seen one in forever down here in Florida either. And it's funny, like the 510 is such an interesting car for me because I think like besides the Volkswagen Beetle, I'm pretty sure that the 510 is the one that the most diecast brands have done. Because
it's just
Matchbox Hot Wheels, Greenlight, Round 2 has a 510, M2 has a 510.
Do you think more than a Skyline? Or like a Porsche? Because like literally everybody makes Porsches and everybody makes Skylines.
The Porsche 911 is kind of a ubiquitous car too.
Yeah, but if you wanted to take if you said Porsche, you got 911, you got all these different submodels, right? But with 510, you just have a 510. There's only a wagon, a 2-door and a 4-door. So
I agree,
it's I don't even necessarily like that they make so many of them, because so many of them are kind of done to where I don't like them. They're
talk about scale, like the 510 and scale.
Sure.
Okay, is this small?
It's tiny.
It kind of sucks. I'll be honest with you. I don't care what company makes it. It's so tiny. That's why I like the Cattle House one because there's like just a little bit more.
It's bigger.
Yeah. I don't know. That's maybe just me.
Hey Lee, I got a question, and it's on this topic. Where did you land? I saw your video where you were asking people what they thought of the Johnny Lightning Skyline. Where did you land on that casting? You like it or no?
It's an older casting. Like it's before all these other guys were doing it anyways. So I give it a little bit of leeway for that. But Johnny Lightning, I really, the biggest thing about Johnny Lightning, 2 things. Their stance is weird and their headlights, because they're not lens, but they're like painted on, but they don't do a really good job with it. So that's the other issue, right? Besides that, the casting itself looks good. right? I don't mind it, but it wouldn't be my first choice for that particular casting. I personally wouldn't even know who to pick because everybody does do such a good job with that R34 casting, right? So
yep,
that's true. The R34 is.
I think I'm giving my award on that one to Mini GT. I think
Mini GT.
Yeah,
I would say so.
Theirs is really good.
I think Hot Wheels has I don't collect much Hot Wheels anymore, but I have a lot still. But I think Hot Wheels does a pretty bang up job.
Yeah, Hot Wheels is a good one. Just wait, I think
premiums and stuff,
Yeah,
and
they
their
that
RLC and-
that 2-pack that they did with the BRE liveries was really cool.
Yeah,
I liked that set with the red, white, and blue and the blue.
Talking about the 510s.
The 510s, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Or are we talking about the?
Yeah, we were talking about Skylines.
Hi,
I was just nodding my.
Hi, Chuck. Welcome back. Thanks for paying attention.
Listen, we can talk about funds whenever.
Yeah.
We'll
do that after hours.
This is the 510 cast. So, Elite, you've got quite the following on Instagram. So, there's those of us who collect, and then there's those of us who decide that other people need to know why we collect. And so what was it for you that prompted starting to post about your collection online?
I was always a social media guy. When the internet first started, for me, it was like 1995.
Mm-hmm.
I was already posting on social media sites then before MySpace. There was like a site called Asian Avenue. And it was like, probably sounds crazy racist now, but it's like, it was only Asians that were on there. And it was really good for me because I live in a predominantly like white city. Like I live in a very small city. So when I was younger, it was really hard for me to meet other Asians. So that was a great little thing. And I learned how to post and all that kind of stuff back then. So it just kind of carried forward. I have like 5 other Instagram pages. None of them are as popular, but I enjoy posting on all of them because I have a lot of hobbies. So I always like to share, and I always like to keep things positive so that, inject a little bit of positivity in this world right now.
Lee, are you in the room that's become quite famous on Instagram?
No. So I live by myself. I used to have a house, so it was like a little bit more spread out, but I'm a single dad and like trying to take care of a house, trying to do work, be a good dad, do all your stuff. It was just literally impossible for me to take care of that house properly. So I ended up selling that house right before, the house prices started shooting down. So I made a good buck on that. And then my buddy built a condo and he kept all the condos and he's just renting them out. So I just rent one of the better floors for him, but it's a lot smaller. So, but I didn't want to do this, but I have Diecast in like every room, essentially.
Sure. Well, I mean, if somebody has been under a rock and they haven't seen, there's 3 of your Instagram videos that have done a little bit better than the rest of them. Yeah. So when you look at stuff like 70 million views, like that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And that's just, is that weird that the entire world basically enjoys seeing cars on display like that? What do you
I think it's just people like seeing things that are organized and a large amount of it, right? Mm-hmm. And that's basically it. I think you can go viral with a formula like that always. Mm-hmm. And that's why I always promote like doing setups. That's one of the things I'm more passionate about with regards to collecting is the setup, like trying to make it nice. I always take it down, put it back up. Like I just took down the one wall. It had like 700 cars under. I took it down. They were all by color, but they were all running horizontally. And I didn't really like that. It didn't look good to the eye, especially when you're walking by it. You would just kind of see all the same cars horizontally. Now, then I changed them all vertically. So they're all color-coded vertically now. And it's much more engaging to the eye because you can see like red, a section of red, yellow, walking by it. It just looks a lot better. Pops a lot more too.
That's clever. I mean, there's Chuck as a marketing guy. Like if it catches your eye like that, you've already won. Half the battle, right? The
battle, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting that initial engagement, it's true. But yeah, and I'm looking for. I'm kind of in the same boat you are. I'm a single dad who just moved, and I was just now unloading my workbench for my customs and starting to put stuff together and finding boxes with Diecast in them, because I've got my drillables, the ones that I want to make customs of, and honestly I could probably do one of those a day until the day I die and still not get through half of them. But you're always like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I've become that old man that has the field full of muscle cars that are all rotting away, and I'm gonna fix them all up someday.
No, I'm gonna keep
Yeah, but
that one.
it's better being that old man than the other old man that's like a pervert that hangs out the mall looking at young chicks.
Well, that's true. There
are. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a hobby.
Exactly. I joke it keeps me off the streets. So, but yeah, so it's fun, and I don't know how old your kids are, but my daughter just did like her first custom last year.
Oh, wow, okay. My daughter's 9.
Okay, my daughter's about to turn 7. And so it's been really great. My little boy, he's 2, and he's just started playing with cars. And we got him this Little People racetrack thing that has like these larger, chunky cars. And it was really funny because the Little People, part of it is a orange loop, and it has the Hot Wheels logo on it. It's called the Hot Wheels loop. So I was like, oh, that's wild. That's some brand integration right there. Speaking of marketing.
Yeah, wherever you can make a buck.
Yeah, my daughter actually is not a fan. She doesn't hate it, but she definitely doesn't enjoy toy stores as much as other kids because we have went so often, right? So yeah, she's pretty much over it.
Yeah,
she does collect now though herself, if she wants to admit it or not. She is starting to collect stuff, but
I always love telling this story about, I joke there's a diecast car for everyone. And one time I took my buddy and his wife to a flea market just to we talked her into going. She likes vintage stuff. So, and she the whole time is just going, I don't get Hot Wheels. I don't get it at all. And we end up at a booth that has a ton of carded Hot Wheels, and I'm looking at them. She's over looking at something else. And then I hear her come over and she gasps and she goes, I didn't know they made a taco Hot Wheels car.
Yeah, my daughter loves those.
I've got a
carne asada.
And so she bought the carne asada, and she bought the donut one and the cupcake one. And I was
my daughter collects those ones actually. Those are the only Hot Wheels she collects. There's the food ones.
The food
ones. Any of the food ones. So there was that new sushi one that just came out.
The new sushi one is actually great. I like that. Actually the one I really dig is the cake hot rod that the
cupcake.
No, there's the cake wedge. There's this new one that it's like a slice of cake that has a little cockpit in it, like a hot 32 Ford hot rod.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's really clever about it, they pointed this out at the last Collectors Nationals, is the grill is actually a bite taken out of the cake. It's just
that's actually cool. I can kind of see it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So no, you gotta keep an eye out for that one. It's a relatively new one. It came out in 2024.
My favorite one is the hot dog one. With the grill for the front thing, and then the grill's thing for the spoiler.
Yeah.
The barbecue.
Yeah,
lid,
the lid. Yeah,
the lid opens up, so you have the spoiler going up.
Yeah, no,
that's
cool. I think
I like that one.
That one's really clever. A lot of people knock the fantasy designs, and I mean they're
some of them are ugly, just like real cars, right? I don't like those ones, but that hot dog one, it looks cool.
Yeah,
all the food ones, they look cool. I'm a fan of a bone shaker. I think that looks like a proper custom.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of a twin mill, for example. Some people might, but it just doesn't really scream anything to me. Maybe because I'm not that old. So
the fantasy ones that I really like are the ones that look kind of like real cars, like the El Segundo Coupe or the Glory Chaser or the
Muscle
Lux.
What's that one that looks like the RX-7? It's like 7 something or what's it called?
They just did it for National Friendship Day or something like that. They did it.
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. I'll never.
And then they have that one. It's it looks like a fake Supra.
Yeah. Those are fun.
Yeah.
But they just did that one that looks like a drift truck kind of thing where it's got the hood off and the exposed engine, and that's really cool. I love those ones that really get to show the little engine details and stuff. I love that they did the Fast and Furious 51 Chevy from Fast 8. I think it was Fast 8 that or Fate of the Furious where he ripped the whole front end off to make it lighter and the doors off and stuff. And so it's this perfect junkyard custom vehicle now because you've got this car that's missing all its parts and has a exposed engine.
I have never seen that one.
Yeah, it's you
did it won an Oscar, I thought. Lee, you sure?
Well, yeah, Fast and Furious and Hot Wheels are just
it didn't
indelibly tied together.
I'm did it really an Oscar? God damn.
Maybe for sound design or something, but They're fun. They're the last couple haven't been amazing, but 7 was really fun. 8 was pretty good.
Look, you can't you can't deny I'll tell you what, they did bring a lot of people into collecting diecasts. That is undeniable. Yeah. And for dudes like
Fast and Furious?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
For dudes like
what are they gonna do after? That's my question. What are they gonna do after they kill? Like they're pretty much on probably their last legs with the Fast and Furious. Well, I guess they could drum up some more stuff, but what are they gonna do after? There's no good movies with cars. Yeah. Like that's literally like the only movie. So
yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could argue like John Wick's kind of a car movie. Like he's always
we got Ford versus Ferrari, which is like one of my
I don't know. Fast and the Furious is the only one that really
is about the cars, kind of like the old, like.
Well, there was about the cars. I didn't watch the later ones, but
the later ones are funny because they're like, what if cars gave you superpowers? Basically, like what if you could drive a car off a bridge and then turn the steering wheel the right way that the tire grabs the cable of the falling bridge and swings like a Tarzan on a vine, swings the Dodge Charger across a ravine and lands it perfectly on the other side. Yeah. I
think it became a joke at some point. They're like, what can we get away with?
Vin Diesel jumps off the hood of one car going one way across an overpass, catches Michelle Rodriguez, and then lands on his back in the windshield of another car going the opposite direction.
70 miles an hour into each other.
I don't really watch too many movies at all. It's just because of that, how unrealistic it is. Like some stuff like where they're supposed to be normal guys. Like I can accept. I just watched that. What's that one movie? Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like I can accept all that because he's a superhero and he's able to do all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? He has some superpowers, right? But not like, come on, some normal guys. Like I remember when I watched this one movie. It was like Will Smith in it. He got shot. I forgot what was it. Bad Boys, like the last one. Yeah, and he got shot, and then like I don't know, like 2 scenes later, he's good. Like I thought he died.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole that whole Dukes of Hazzard thing where like they jump the car and you can watch the car crumple as it lands.
And then it's good.
But then in the next scene, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's possible to really do like aside from doing like a Ford versus Ferrari or something like that. It's really hard to do a realistic car movie because in reality, as you know, if something goes wrong on a car, you don't just keep going and power through it. Like it breaks and you stop.
Yeah.
Or you can.
Car.
It does not take much in the real world to hurt a real car. And real drag races, the Fast and Furious drag races, we always joke are like, 2 minutes. It takes them 2 minutes to go a quarter mile in 12 gears.
Yeah. It's
so
10 seconds in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would just be like zip and we're done and on to the next thing.
Yeah, drag racing in real life isn't really exciting unless it's like some crazy car that's going crazy fast. Even like my Integra was an 11-second car, and it honestly didn't look that fast in the videos. I'm like, what is it doing? I'm like, it's going really fast in the car, but outside you're watching it, I'm like, wow, no.
You had to be there.
Yeah.
You have to be inside.
You have to be inside the motor.
To be outside it on the windshield.
So I'm in Gainesville where the NHRA Gator Nationals are. So we've got this really nice world-class NHRA drag strip that every Friday night they just let anyone with $35 can go out on the track. If they pass tech, they can race.
Yeah, that's like our place.
Yeah, so the best ones are, in my opinion, the really slow cars because you actually get a bit of a battle going. Like we had like one guy was like a 3 Dodge Ram and the other guy had a 2018 Ford Edge and it was cool because the Edge guy's ahead and then the Dodge guy's ahead and then the Edge guy's creeping up and you're like, oh, this is actually interesting. Like
which
it's like
gonna break first,
which one's gonna peter out or make it, and 19 seconds later you go, oh well, it was the Hemi powered Dodge that eventually made it across the finish line first. So you're actually getting to see like some back and forth in there. And it's, the guys, the motorcycles are really cool too, because they're just crazy.
Oh, the motorcycles are crazy.
Yeah,
I don't even know how those guys are holding on.
Right?
I don't even know. I'm like, what is this, magic? Like, how are they holding on like that? I can't even hold on to a woman. This guy's, oh my God.
Yeah. So we got those, and because of where I'm at, I don't know if they do these where you're at your track, but they have the junior dragsters, like they're like 1/4 scale or 1/6 scale, something like that, and they have the little kids out in them.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah, my daughter does go-karting. I bought her one of those. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's 9 baht. It's like a electric go-kart. It actually does like 1.2 Gs.
Those things are stupid fast.
Yeah. So you can have it on different settings. Now my daughter's like using max settings, these drifts and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
She's like that little girl in the GIF that comes out in her Power Wheel and drifts. And
Yeah, she loves it.
Yeah.
She was scared at first, but now she's an animal. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Great.
My kid is not really into the Power Wheels at all. We had one for a little while, and so maybe the second one will be into it. But it's to each their own. She's got.
Yeah, I just think it's a necessary skill because we drive a lot. And I just don't want my daughter to do one of these while she's driving. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
If there's a situation, I'd rather her look at the situation and try to drive your way out of it,
Well, yeah, and learning racing is one of the best ways to be a good defensive driver in a lot of ways, because you've got to be able to avoid wrecking your race car and be like situationally aware of everything that's going on around you in fractions of a second. Yeah. So yeah, that's actually a very good point.
We've got dirtfish racing, rally racing, like the course, like maybe about an hour away from me. I've been tempted to go there. It's
I love racing, man. I love the smell of it.
Yeah,
I love everything about it. But having diecast cars is 1,000 times easier than having real cars.
Thank you for steering us back into the conversation.
Yeah,
I'd like to say it's cheaper.
Took Lee to get us back on track. No pun intended. Lee, tell us what you got going on. You got something really cool going on in the very near future with a brand that a lot of us collect. So tell us what you got cooking.
Yeah.
Don't touch that dial. Diecast Breakdown will be right back after these messages. Diecast Breakdown is produced in partnership with TWYCE Diecast and Driven Dreams Org on YouTube. Check out their channels in the video description and subscribe for more epic diecast content.
Hey, this is Larry Wood.
This is Derek from Honest Diecast.
Hey, this is Chad Reed from Round 2.
This is Mike from Gaslands.
The SRT Jovita Show.
This is Champion DJ K.
This is Mad Vision here.
This is Diecast Dude.
And you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
And now, the thrilling conclusion of this week's episode of Diecast Breakdown.
You're saying Pop Race?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Pop Race at the end of this week, actually. No, next week. At the end of next week, next Friday. I'm flying out to Japan. They're holding like an event at Daigo Saito. You know that drifter? I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. But he's like a big time drifter. And he has this compound. It's like where he lives. And you can check it out on YouTube and stuff. Lots of people have went there and checked out his place. And they're holding a car meet, and Pop Race is going to be there too as well. So they flew a bunch of us out there. So which is really cool because they actually just flew us out to Macau, like just in November. So I was like, it's unbelievable. They're flying us all out to Tokyo, like just a couple months later, right?
So that's really cool. This is a Pop Race event being held at his house. So what will the weekend or whatever it is, what will that entail? Like what?
Well, they haven't really let us know the agenda yet. We're probably gonna hit up Tokyo Auto Salon too as well. Pop Race also has they built an RF7 RE Amiya, the body kit. They built that race car and they have it at the Tokyo Auto Salon too as well. So, I'm assuming that we're gonna go there and go to this guy's house and hang. The event is from like 2 to 10, so we're there all day, and then hopefully I can catch that. And then I'm flying out to Australia after to see my girlfriend. So,
heck yeah,
yeah.
Man about world.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Globetrotting with tiny cars.
Look, can I ask one more since you just brought up?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I want to show you guys this after too. When you where are we going here?
Absolutely.
This is the
so cool
the thing here. I'll show you guys right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Drop it off.
But yeah, so this is when we go to those events. I can't even. This camera keeps moving. They always give us like some kind of gift, and this was their little gift thing, and it says "Do not resell." And then somebody already had it up for sale. It's pretty funny. It says right here, do not sell. And somebody had it up there for sale. Anyways, it's 3 cars.
Ooh.
Yeah. Supra. This camera is so annoying. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
It's trying to track my face. That's why.
There you go.
Anyways, it's a Supra. Yeah, it's a Supra. I can't. Can I? Is that working?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the Supra, we got an RX-7, and then we got an old school Skyline. Ken Mary, I believe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a nice little kit there.
Yeah. Nice little kit, limited. I got the owner of Pop Race to sign it too as well. It was crazy because Saito was there, and I forgot. I was just so hyped. I forgot to get him to sign it, but I'll get him to sign something when I go up there.
Yeah.
The next time.
Just sign your face, probably, or
yeah, it's just crazy because like a couple of my buddies, they actually race and they actually draft. They do all that stuff in real life, and then I get to go and I'm playing with diecast cars, and I get to go and meet this guy. So, which it's a funny world, you know.
That's how it should be.
Sometimes, man.
Yeah, it's a funny world.
The diecast people should always be at the front of the line, Lee.
Yeah,
I wish, man. I wish. I have a lot of wealthy friends too, so they have some real legit cars. I was just actually on the weekend. My buddy got 2 cars for his winter. He got a Lamborghini Urus, and he got a Tesla Cybertruck. He actually got them like 3 days apart, which is, I'm like, wow, how rich are you, bro? Like, relax.
No kidding.
Like, leave something for the rest of us. So he picked me up in the Urus, and so that was really that was awesome. My other buddy had a Urus too, so I already kind of had an idea of what it was like. But those cars are awesome. And the Cybertruck, it's obviously just fast. The self-driving is insane. Like, he had it on self-driving, and it's just driving around the city by itself. I'm like, wow, this is like witchcraft, you know?
No kidding. Yeah. So are you?
Ugly. It's ugly. I like the Urus way better. Lamborghini Urus way better.
Sure.
Are you gonna grab a bunch of Oz wheels while you're down there?
Yeah, Boy Racer Ben, he's actually bringing me a few.
Nice.
He told me to open the last, because I was like, oh, I really want to open this, but you know, you gave it to me. He's like, no, just open it. I'll just give you more later. I'm like, okay, cool. So I opened up the last one, and I'm actually really impressed. And I like new brands that are like legit, not those Chinese unlicensed brands, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
David loves those.
Yeah,
I actually do. But getting back to the Oz wheels, we had Jesse, the creator of that company, on, and he's got a plan for those, and he's getting every one of those freaking V8 beasts. He's going to put them in diecast.
Yeah. I love what he's doing.
Yeah, those things are so cool.
Mm.
Those guys love burnouts.
Yeah, I love burnouts too. I think, like, I got a young daughter, so, you know, if me and that girl work out, she's gonna move up here. But if it wasn't for my daughter, I'd move down there, because I feel like they're more of the kind of people that I like. You know, they're more straight up. So yeah, I like straight up people. So
straightforward, very straightforward people.
What's funny is, so my car I have a Plymouth Valiant, like I mentioned, it's a Slant 6 powered car. So it's got the little leaning tower of power, as they call it. But what's funny is that Australia is like at the forefront of performance parts for that engine in particular, because it was so common down there in their vehicles, because most of their Plymouths anyway, didn't have V8s. They had the Slant 6 in them, or they had a 245 inline 6 that was much, much better. But they also still did soup ups of their Slant 6s. So they got all these crazy intake manifolds and exhaust stuff. So if you want to build your engine, you're probably ordering parts from Australia. There are quite a few parts on my car that are from Australia, because they make like the reproduction lights and headlight bezels and trim pieces for my car that aren't as popular over here. So
yeah, it's
a really wild car culture. They love their cars. I love the Utes over there, the crazy little car El Camino type things that they have. And
yeah, they're big into tuning too. A lot of the the standalone engine management systems, like Haltech, Vipac. There's all kinds. Motec, I think.
Yeah.
They're all from Australia.
No, that's smart for OZ Wheels to like get on that. You know, obviously everybody else is doing Skyline, Supras, all this kind of stuff. So it's nice. It's refreshing to see those cars done well too. You know, so I like it. I wish they would sell them elsewhere. But maybe in the future.
They can't make enough of them, man. They sell out just in Australia. Yeah. Like, they are killing it.
You can always make more. Just hire more Asians to make them, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
you said it, not me.
Yeah.
Anybody can say it's the truth. As long as it's the truth.
I'm curious how long it'll be before they're getting copycatted like Auto World is.
Yeah, have you heard about that, Lee?
No.
somebody has just gone full blown. I don't know what you call it, just straight up ripping off Temu versions of Auto World. Cars look exactly like cars look. It's like somebody has gotten the molds or the castings or something, and they're making just straight up.
Yeah, this is why I don't like licensed stuff. I'll give you an example. The Rexy casting, everybody likes it, right? And then on my local Hot Wheels page, group page, I only belong to one. I think it's too crazy if you belong to too many, but I only belong to one. And they were this guy was showing off an unlicensed Roxy and Rexy casting, like they were like a combo. And then I just wrote, like, if you're really a big fan of Rexy and Roxy, like the actual car, like, why are you ripping them off at the same time? Like, respect it. Like, if it's like a Cadillac, like some kind of old school Cadillac, who cares, right? Get a fake one. But like, if it's a car that somebody actually owns and you just bought one that just ripped them off, like, and you like them, yeah, exactly. They're ripping them off. Like, forget about the dime. It's just straight up ripping them off too, right?
So as a collector, I mean, do you kind of insist on licensed brands?
I would like people to do it right. I think at the end of the day, because those you're just saying that Temu is copying Auto World, or somebody on there is copying Auto World, right? Eventually, Auto World, let's say they lose their profit margins because of some nonsense like that, and they can't make cars anymore. Now, who are these guys going to copy?
Yeah,
right.
And then we're done. We're done. So, so that's just what it is. I think things need to be done properly. Like, it's nice to get something a little bit cheaper. Of course, we all want something a little bit cheaper, but and sometimes we feel like, especially Hot Wheels, you feel like they're sometimes gouging you. They're just taking advantage of you. But I'd rather see things done right in regards to that. I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't really care about it in the beginning because I wasn't really thinking about it. But I thought about it. I'm like, nah, this is somebody's property that they're just ripping off. So
that's exactly where I've kind of come around, and you guys have seen. Chuck and Mark, you guys have seen me evolve as a collector to really kind of go after branded stuff, because after talking with these makers and designers and all the effort that they put into getting that license and going back and forth with Mercedes and Porsche, like, I mean, that shouldn't be just given away.
Yeah, and somebody just makes it, whips it off, takes all your hype, Yep. It makes it $10 cheaper, there you go. And then people are like, well, it's more reasonably priced. Yeah, because they're not paying for any of the licensing. Right. That's why, like...
the quality's not there probably either, because you have even if you get the casting right, you still have to paint it properly and have it adhere and just like...
And even if it looks good right now, what is it going to look like in 3 years from now?
Yeah. Because you got Hot Wheels that has it pretty well figured out for $1 car. The paint holds up really nicely. The cars hold up. They roll really well. So that's many, many years of R&D, just research and development,
But at the same time, I understand like how the Chinese are. If they can make something this small and sell it to you for $30, you betcha they're going to do it. You betcha they're going to do it. No, they're going to do it all over. Especially now that they know there's a group of people that really like it, right? A group of collectors that really like that kind of stuff. So there's a market. So.
Yeah, because they're making it for...
Can't stop it, just don't support it, though. That's all.
Right.
Well, that's the same goes for, the dreaded scalper word. If you don't agree with it, then just, don't support it or don't buy it.
Yeah, the scalping thing, I always tell people if it's beneficial to you, you don't have a problem with it. Like, I don't have time to go out, so if I have a local scalper that always hooks me up, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. But if I start going out weekly and I don't see stuff, yeah, eventually somewhere along the way I'm going to be like, fuck you scalpers. I'm going to be mad about it somewhere along the way. But if you're not going out, yeah, you're not going to be mad about it. You're only mad about it because you can't find anything.
Yeah, it's a two-edged sword for sure.
Yeah. Like if the guy who's, there's a guy in our local group, he finds like 30 supers a year. And he says he doesn't get any internal help, but we all know that's nonsense. Mm-hmm. Especially around here, we don't have like sometimes in the States they have like 30 Walmarts in one small area. We don't have that kind of luxury around here, right? So, you got to definitely have your inside people, especially if you're going to find 30 supers in 1 year, 30 to 50 supers in 1 year,
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah. But I don't know how many supers you guys, some of you guys don't even collect Hot Wheels, but for me, I would say I'm a pretty regular guy collecting Hot Wheels going out. I don't like go out in the morning or anything anymore, but I only found 3 supers in the 5 years that I've collected.
I found 1.
Yeah. I did.
I look every time I go.
About 5 or so, 5 or 6.
Yeah, how long have you guys been collecting?
Well, I guess it's since 2019.
Yeah, same.
But I always 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. But yeah, so
probably 2017, 18 for me or somewhere around there.
Yeah. Well, and you, Mark, actually, like you did like super. Well, you weren't really a super hunter. You were, but you made videos about hunting.
I made a lot of videos because I with Derek, Honest Diecast, he's the one that got me. I got him into Hot Wheels. He got me into doing videos because it looked like a lot of fun. But
it is a lot of fun.
I just like the thing I like about it is it's nice to go there and share that experience with other people, like because everybody's got different stores in different areas, and it's just fun to kind of show people. It's like, for me, I just felt like I was like helping people because it's fun to watch. Like, oh, what do you have? Like, oh, we don't have those yet, but we know it's going to come. Like maybe in a couple months or 6 months. But it's just fun to like share that moment with other people of finding a super treasure hunt, like genuinely, not like fake. Like
how many people? I was just gonna say, how many people do you fake
like,
that?
Like the genuine thing. It's like where your hand's kind of shaking a little bit because you're.
Oh yeah.
So
you nailed it there.
The excitement, and I think that's why people love Diecast, because I think you guys can all agree that it gives you the nostalgic little kid feeling again. Because we lose that. You have mortgage and all these responsibilities.
Yeah, that's what I also do jiu-jitsu, and that's what I tell people before they join. I'm like, it reminds you of like when you were a kid, and when you did a good job, you would get like a star, or somebody would say good job, and jiu-jitsu gives you that because you work hard towards something, and then you get good at it. It's a good progression where you go to work every day, and every day seems like every day. So yeah, it's really important to have those good feelings, like feeling like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife was into jiu-jitsu when she was younger, and she was pretty good at it. She hasn't done it in a long time, but she could choke me out for sure. Rear naked.
Yeah, choking people out. Choking people out is so much fun, guys. I won't even lie.
Keeps you on your toes, Mark.
Yeah.
So Lee, on top of the social media and on top of the collections and on top of the real cars, you also are an entrepreneur. You've got a product or two that you sell. So I know you got merch like, all of us have.
Yeah, the merch doesn't really do anything for me. It's really just the cases.
So you've got these cases. So talk about these. Where did this come from? Where did this idea spawn from?
Right. So I always wanted to display, and I tried out a bunch of different kind of cases. I told you guys that when I first started collecting, I had a case that I wanted to fill, right? So, and I tried out a bunch of cases, and then I came across these cases that I liked. The only problem was the quality wasn't really that good. This local guy was making it. The quality wasn't that good, and it took forever for him to make it. And then it was very inconsistent what he was going to make.
Right.
Like, I think if you're going to put a lot of anything on the wall, it has to be very
uniform,
symmetric, and it has to be the same. Like, you can't just put a bunch of stuff on the wall. Then it's just going to look like a really messy diecast store or a 65-year-old collector's house. You go there and it's just like diecast everywhere. It's just crazy. But yeah, so I just talked to a manufacturer. We worked out a couple plans, and then I just started selling them. And I feel like I'm doing collectors a favor because it is something that's not like you can just go into Walmart and get it, right? You can always make one out of wood and stuff. I just think the way that my cases are, especially the lid, because a lot of them are doors. Like you got doors that open up from the middle or from the top. But the problem with that is if you have just one case, that's okay, right? You can just open up the door.
They're going to run into each other if you've got...
Yeah. So if you wanted to take a big display picture, let's say I wanted to take a picture of my 20 cases, I could take all the fronts off, and then I get a nice picture without no glare, okay? If I was loading the cars, I wouldn't have to mess around with the cars. If I wanted to change one, I just take the thing off, change whatever I want to change, put the lid back on. Done. So I thought that was the easiest and most simplest. I'm not a big fan of the mirrored backs either. I know what the other side of the car looks like. 99.9% of the time, it looks like the other side of the car. And then you got other cases that angle and stuff like that, which are all cool, right? but they take up more room too as well, right? Like going out. So I really thought about it before I started manufacturing these cases. And they hold 48 slots, which I think it's a good size where it's not too big or too large. And then you can fit them in a lot more spaces. So if let's say you had a case that held 150, now you got to find a wall that's accommodating for something of that size, right?
Case.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Putting them in your kitchen, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, so I sell those. I don't make a ton of money or anything, but it's just something fun to do. Canada Post went down. That kind of sucked a little bit. But it's fun. Everybody's pretty patient too, because what I do is I order them, then I do a pre-order while we're waiting, and then when they come, I shut some. Yeah, you have to order a certain amount. And actually, my next shipment, I haven't posted up on my website yet, but I'm going to be making cases for Team Transport as well.
Man, you can't.
And they will also fit the NO and Tarmac Works, the acrylic cases. They'll fit them right in there too as well.
Oh, okay.
You can't underestimate the benefit of coming in after a stressful day and having a really nice display, really well organized. Man, it is just like, it's like having a shot of whiskey sometimes, man. It just chills you out. I'm with you.
Sometimes, I'll be like stressed out or not having a good day, and I'll just zone in. I'll just start walking straight up really close to my wall and start looking at each car. And there's so many on the wall too. Sometimes I forget what's on my wall, to be honest with you. So.
Well, it's better than in a bin somewhere,
Yeah, or under your bed or in your closet. Like I bought a lot of collections off of guys that passed away, and they didn't cash it in. They didn't cash in like all these other guys thinking they're going to cash in one day on this diecast that they keep sealed, right? Oh, a mint in package.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell guys, just open them up, enjoy. Like, keep the ones that you want to keep in package. Sure, if you want to keep a few in package because they're worth a lot or you just like the packaging, cool. But, open up the majority of them. Enjoy them. Because, like, when your kids aren't going to know anything about it. They're not in the hobby like you are. Okay? Your wife, whoever is going to be alive after you is not going to know any of that stuff. They just thought you as just this obsessive loser that collected so much diecast, right? So they don't want to be like you either. They don't want you to pass on. Like these people are like, oh, I'm gonna pass it on to your kids aren't gonna want it.
No.
Can you imagine your grandpa passing on something that has no relation to you?
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of it? Here's thousands of whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy it yourself. That's it.
Old Coke bottles or something.
I
like
thanks.
your trigger warning that you put on that video where you opened some 20-year-old Hot Wheels. It was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, some people get pretty worked up about opening stuff up. Not so much more on my page because I would assume that most people know that I'm going to be opening up everything. So
yeah, it bothers people.
Yeah,
for sure.
Somebody said it was like keeping your girlfriend fresh for the next guy, which is a little crude way to look at it. But I was like, that was something that I hit me one day where I was like, with a lot of things, I was like, why am I preserving this thing that I could be enjoying just because somebody else told me it's worth a lot of money, even if I didn't pay that much money for it? And then I realized when I went with David to the Collector Nationals and we were selling cars, all of a sudden your cars are worth a lot of money until you actually go to sell them. And then
people don't want to pay what you want for them.
Exactly. Just because it's worth $100 doesn't mean you're going to sell it for $100 necessarily.
Yeah, and selling a few diecasts is different than trying to sell your whole collection. You're certainly not gonna you're not gonna sell it as fast as you bought it.
Yeah.
So think about that. You know what I mean? And those guys that are delusional, they have like 200 main lines and they're trying to sell it for more than what they bought it for or the same. I'm like, okay, number one, I don't even like the cars you picked. So why wouldn't I just spend my money, go to Walmart and pick the ones I like? You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of buying your stupid collection. So yeah. If they were half price, then maybe I'd think about it, right? But that's just
you may only like, if someone's selling 200 cars, you may only like 10 of them.
Well, this is what I did in the beginning when I didn't mind putting more work into diecast. But what I would do, I'd buy a collection of 4,000 cars, and I would buy it for, like, let's say 50 cents on the dollar, right? So I would get it for like half price. And then I would turn around and I would sell it for something in between, like let's say 50 for $50, and I would package them all up in 50s, the ones I didn't want, and I would just sell them on Facebook, and they would go so quick. And so I ended up making $500 to $1,000 and then I would make I would have like 20 cars that I actually wanted out of that whole collection, right? So
yeah,
I didn't find that was too bad. If you didn't mind putting in the work, it is backbreaking.
It's exhausting.
Oh yeah, it's backbreaking.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the smell of some of those cars, you know,
musty.
those old collectors.
Yeah. Oh man, I went through somebody's old collection that he had kept them in an semi climate controlled environment, and some water had gotten in, and the cardboard and stuff was just like rotten, and you had that smell, and it was awful. But I got a ton of great cars for like less than $1 a piece because of it, because I don't mind cracking them open and washing them off.
Yeah. Crack them open.
Yeah, exactly. You got to crack them all, or as I say, drill them all.
Let's be crackers. Let's all be crackers.
All right, David. All right, David. That's 3.
I'm an official cracker.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Unofficial.
All righty. Well, I think we're getting a little silly here.
We just solved racism here on
exactly.
Diecast Breakdown.
Thank you. That Diecast bringing the world together. So, well, Lee, I think as we're wrapping things up here, because of your opportunity, because you have the connection that you do, what are some of the things that you think are really exciting about the hobby, and what are some of the things that really concern you about the hobby from where you're sitting, being able to take in a lot more than most people can?
Yeah. Exciting. I like the fact that when I first started, it was like primarily Hot Wheels, but now there's a lot of other brands that we're all familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Mini GT, Race, Tarmac Works, all those brands, right? Obviously, Cattle House, Auto World, Johnny Lightning. Auto World, Johnny Lightning have been there for a while, but you know, it's just exciting that there's a lot more brands than just Hot Wheels. I don't think there's really anything that concerns me besides the only thing that I always bitch about is Hot Wheels QC issues in regards to their RLC releases. Mm-hmm. Just because they cost a lot more money than all the premium brands, right? All the normal premium brands that we just named off there. They cost more money than any of those guys. I know it doesn't have the same idea. Like I said earlier, Hot Wheels and Cattle House they're trying to make something more fun looking, not so much more realistic. So I'll give them the go on that. Like obviously, but the QC issues, like the hood on the Supra not closing, that was insanely ridiculous. Because that's gravity, man. How did you mess up gravity? Like that's insane. Like how did you guys screw that up?
Anti-gravity.
Well, and then that the McLaren had like so many people had QC issues to the point that they actually like made a statement and were like, "We will fix this."
Yeah, I actually my McLaren was okay. What it started all for me this year was the Integra, because I have an Integra in real life, so that was a big deal for me when they were making that white Integra, and I bought 2 of them. Both of them had chips in the paint.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
both of them. So I was like, which one's the least amount chipped? I'll open that one. Like that's and then a long time ago, this is how I knew RLC or Hot Wheels Mattel kind of screwed around a little bit. I bought the Super Treasure Hunt set that they have at the end of the year.
Sure.
You know how hard that is to get. You have to be like sitting there clicking it. Like it's insane to get. So I got it, right? I'm happy, right? I'm waiting for it. A month or 2 goes by. I'm like, where is this thing? I call up Mattel. Mattel was like, here later, or one of the delivery companies said that they didn't have your phone number. They couldn't get a hold of you. I'm like, why would they try to get a hold of me? Number one, just drop it off. Like you do every other package, right? I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, okay. And then so they end up sending it back to them, right? To Hot Wheels. Like, okay, well, send it back to me now, you know? And they're like, well, we don't have it no more. I'm like, how can you not have it? How can you not have it? Something that's limited like that, okay? And so I was like, okay, well, then refund me. Whatever, right? We'll call it a day, refund me. Because of the exchange, I got shorted $50.
Wow.
On top of all that.
Yeah.
On top of all that. So and they did, so I called them back and I was like, hey, I'm trying to explain to them. They're like, well, we just refunded you the amount of money that we got. I'm like, I understand, but I understand that, I went through all this and now on my end as a customer, you guys ripped me out $50.
Yeah, because
that's crazy.
Changed in that
yeah, it changed so much, right?
They come and kick your dog too?
Yeah.
If I had one, I ate him.
Why?
No, so Hot Wheels, I called them and I talked to the manager after I screamed at the first 2 people. And then the manager, he said, yeah, we'll write you a check, right? Guess what? Never got the check.
No check.
Never got the check.
For the difference?
Yeah, for the difference. Never got the check, buddy.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what's wild about that?
Don't have a lot of extra money there.
You know what's wildly? I just saw a reel the other day where some dude camped out on his porch. He was in Canada, and this delivery service pulled up, didn't even get out of the truck. It started to drive off, and they had already coded it in their system as unable to deliver. They never even
that happens with my
get out of the truck.
That happens with my UPS sometimes. I live in like an apartment condo building. So, and then the UPS delivery drop-off spot, like it's a corner store right in front of my house.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Never.
All the time. Yeah. I'll be at home waiting for delivery. Oh, your delivery was dropped off at this spot instead. Well, luckily it's right in front of it. I'm assuming that sometimes they might be in a rush, so they just drop off all the packages there for the building, right? Instead of like going to each one and yeah, sometimes they drop it off, but I'm like, wow, how does it always end up there when I'm at home? Like,
I got a couple days ago, I got my worst delivery ever. So I have 5 acres out in the country, and way down by a burn barrel, like kind of another entrance on the property, there's a rusty old burn barrel. They dropped it off like right next to but it's light years away from the house and my shop and everything. But and then they took.
Good lucky you found it.
Well, they took a picture of it, and we were like, "Where is that?" You know, we're like, "Oh, it's down by a burn barrel by like just the stupidest place in the world." And it was FedEx, and they, so like that's the kind of stuff where you're just like, "Wow!" Like really, the laziness. Like they're just like, "Eh."
I had one time where they took the picture, and it was my doorway, but it wasn't my door.
Yeah.
So I lived in an apartment, so I'm like running up and down the hallways trying to look for it, and I found it. But I'm like, this is pretty ridiculous.
It was probably all those super treasure hunts, man.
Yeah, I wish.
Neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a crazy part of the hobby is the shipping, the delivery, the distribution, all that stuff. And again, the stuff that's relatively new to the hobby. I mean, we went from these are only available at your local big box store or your hobby shop to ordering things from halfway around the world from a sketchy site that you might be buying it from a legit seller, you may not be. You just got to hope that those feedback things are not a bunch of bots that were designed to make you think that this AliExpress seller will not rip you off as.
Yeah, well, that's why it just pays to go with the legit businesses, just
and I rather support, like, let's say if I have a local diecast store, I rather support them just because I want to have that local diecast store. I want to have access to it. I don't want to rely on Ali and all these cheaper things just because they're a bit cheaper, If I was concerned about stuff being cheaper, I just wouldn't collect. I would just save my money, because like what are we actually buying? We can't eat these things.
You can. I don't think.
I definitely spend more money on that than food. So
I don't have a lot of nutritional value, but you can eat them. I'm sure.
Oh, you can definitely eat them at least once.
And that's great, actually.
I mean, whatever happens after that, that's on you. But
yes.
What a way to go!
Sounds painful.
He died doing what he loved. Eating.
That's. I hope that happens for me too. So.
Coroner's walking in and going, wow, this man has just stuffed his face full of cars. Went out
died.
with a smile on his
He's
face.
Smiling.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
You probably couldn't even die. You might choke. Are you talking about choking or just suffocating? Because you still have your nose. You'd have to choke.
Eventually, I guess it depends on how many 3-inch
things. We haven't discussed this yet on Diecast Breakdown. Thanks, Lee. That's a new topic.
Trust me. People tell me all the time. We always talk about the most interesting stuff when you're around. So.
Yeah. How many?
Honestly, I always think about all the lead that's in those cars, and because I have so many thrown on my wall, and I'm like, am I getting lead poisoning now?
That'd be good. You just you have some privacy in the house.
Look, hey, man, if you make a video called The Awful Truth of Displaying Hot Wheels, algorithm gold right there.
Yeah.
I think if you put the awful truth about anything in a video, it's
100%. And you have that weird beat in the background that just makes you stress out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate those guys. Those bad news guys that's always telling you something's killing you on social media. I hate those guys.
I see it every day. Yeah, it's just like, how about you tell me something good? All right.
And because I have that check mark beside my name, I always tell them that I hate them because they can see my actual comment. They can actually see it. So it's pretty funny.
Nice.
Lee hates me.
The guy was like, "Yo, you shouldn't be talking like this because you have so many following and you have a business." I'm like, number one, that's more on my hobby page, okay? And number two, my business is totally related to my hobby, so it's only people that collect Hot Wheels that want to buy these cases, not because they like me. Nobody's buying the cases because they like me. Oh, you know what? I like you, Lee. I don't even need a case, but send one over.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
They're buying them because they don't like you.
yeah, exactly, probably.
Like, screw this guy. Give him my money.
Oh, yeah? How about 50 cases?
50. I can't give you that many.
Yeah. Nice.
Not now.
Boy. All right, guys. Well, I think the topics of conversation are a good indication that we are needing to wrap things up here. But before we go, Lee, again, I can't thank you enough for coming on and hanging out.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And, again, as hilarious as it is for me to suggest this, let's tell people how they can find you and follow you in case they haven't already.
Yeah, I'm on primarily on Instagram, but I am on YouTube and TikTok, but primarily I'm on Instagram. I just find that it's a easier way to communicate with other collectors on there. And I like the layout. It just feels a lot more mature to me than TikTok.
You tell them when they can catch the
It's 10 o'clock p.m. on Thursday in my time zone. So
Eastern time zone in the US.
It's Eastern time zone. Yeah. So whatever time zone that is. And we just hang out. So if anybody wants, and any one of you guys want to be on our thing, just let me know and I can schedule you guys in there.
Thursdays at 10?
Yeah, Thursday at 10. We just hang out like this. Just hang out and talk Diecast.
Yeah, sounds like
That's
fun.
nice.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Usually I have my kids on Thursday nights, but I can make that happen because they're usually down. Hopefully, if they're not down by 10, I'm doing something very wrong or something else.
Time for some Benadryl.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, my kid was super easy. I just tell her to go to bed and she just goes to bed.
Yeah, they're not there yet. The 2-year-old's still a little difficult to communicate these things. Be like, hey, man, come on.
Jiu-jitsu.
You're not
go try with Lee.
Sleeper hold.
Right. Go to sleep.
Yes. You're going to sleep one way or another.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully y'all haven't fallen asleep yourselves listening to our conversation. But
if you don't go to sleep, Lee will put you to sleep.
We will.
I will gladly do that.
But before you go to sleep, make sure you punch that like, subscribe button, and ring the bell so you know when the next episode's coming out. We're usually dropping stuff Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, there's the audio version of the podcast if you're tired of looking at us. And if you want to look at us and you're listening to us, you can come over to the YouTube channel. That's how technology works. All right. Well, again, a big shout out to our patrons that make the show go. If you want to join their ranks, you can visit diecastbreakdown.com. And if you don't have any money to spare, we get it. Diecasts are expensive, and we would much rather you be building your collection and paying your bills to keep the lights on than passing it our way. But if you can't do that, you can always share this show with someone that you think would also enjoy it. That's a really good way to help the show grow. And you can rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcasting app. That's another great way for all this to happen. Remember drivendreams.org, where we are collecting diecast cars for kids in need all over the world. David always has that prop with him. I swear he just, he's driving down the road with it next to him in the passenger seat, using it in the carpool lane. And officer, I may not have another person in the car, but I've got this 1 car equals 1 smile sign. And that counts as an extra person. Check it out, drivendreams.org. Really cool project that we're helping Mr. Mark with. And, shout out to all the people that gave the thousands of cars over the last couple of years. We're talking
many thousands.
Yeah, we're talking pretty much 40,000 cars, I think, just about in the last 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. So, and we're going to do it up big this year. So make sure
bigger than ever.
Check out that channel and that website. Make sure you're ready to roll. But as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So,
thanks for listening to Diecast Breakdown. If you enjoyed today's show, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and tell a friend to listen in. Find Diecast Breakdown on your favorite social media platforms or visit diecastmedianetwork.com to learn more about this and our other projects. Diecast Breakdown is a presentation of Flying Valiant and the Diecast Media Network.